Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Good afternoon and good evening to some of you. I am Hannah Schmidt and shall be your Sergeant at Arms for the day. A warm welcome to meeting number 27. We have a captivating, fascinating and exciting theme for today. Great leaders inspire us to do better. And a very appropriate and fitting word of the day: transform. In other words, transform yourselves into great leaders. Toastmaster provides a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is a premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better and self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused on leadership development with the 4 core values: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Let us all learn, innovate, and connect. I now have the honor introducing to you your Toastmaster of the day, the one and only Peggy Onlock. Peggy has been a Toastmaster in Ontario since 1999, with only 3 years off during that time. She loves pathways and sees Toastmaster as an organization where we can learn to speak civilly about difficult topics and make this world a better place. She and this club in particular. Please help me welcome Peggy Onlock, your Toastmaster of the day. Peggy, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Sergeant at Arms Hannah. I'd really like to welcome everybody to the meeting today and the guests as well. Hannah's already given you a great overview of what Leadership Speaks is all about. And I would just like to reiterate how happy I was to see such a club that focused specifically on leadership. I've often thought that you can be a really good communicator, but not a great leader. But it's very hard to be a great leader without being a very good communicator as well. So Leadership Speaks is taking Toastmasters to another level, really, where we do focus on leadership as well as communication. Without further ado, I am going to introduce Fabiola, who is going to give us an overview of the toast. And I'll also ask her to give us the toast for the evening. I'm just trying to see if she is here. I do not see Fabiola yet. All right. So Sharon, I'm really glad you were able to get in. So I will ask you to give the overview of the grammarian's role. And if you can give us the word of the day as well, that would be great.
Sure. There. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and any guests. The word for the role of the grammarian is to listen, hear what phrases, sentences are excellent, and to identify them, as well as where we could improve our grammar and our pronunciation of words. My word for today to go with the theme is transform. It's a verb. It means make a thorough or dramatic change in the form of character of. So I could use it in a sentence such as, an amazing leader can transform a group from good to outstanding. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Sharon. And I still don't see Fabiola here, so I'm going to do the toast for the meeting today. And Leadership Speak is all about self-directed leaders. And one of the things that we have to do before we can lead anybody else is to lead ourselves well. So I would like to propose a toast to leading ourselves through troubled waters and to self-directed leadership. Thank you very much. It's my view that you cannot have a Toastmasters meeting without a toast. And I inadvertently did not explain what my role is, and that's to do a lot of the introductions today, as well as keeping the meeting on track so we can start and finish at time. And of course, Hannah does a superb job of starting on time, so I guess it's up to me for the rest of the meeting. So thank you again, Hannah. And I'm now going to ask Mary Lou if she can give us an overview of the timer role, because we do have a change in the agenda where Mary Lou will be our timer for the first half of the meeting. And after our break, our timer will be Marianna.
So the timer's role, thank you, Peggy. The timer's role is to, in this case, is to keep track of the speakers for this segment of the meeting. All our speakers have different timings today. So we will have a situation where we will go to green at the point in their speech where they have sort of hit the area of their speech where they're coming to the end. Yellow when they're almost at the end and they should start wrapping up, and red, they should wrap up. Thank you, Ms. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Marianna. I think I've noticed that we have a few more guests have joined us, and so again, I would like to welcome you. And hopefully around the end of the meeting, we will be able to meet you a little bit better. So our leadership speak portion is going to be done today by Vinod Panicker. I am going to introduce his evaluator, Tony Bratchett, to give an overview of Vinod's presentation today.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good morning, everyone. Vinod Panicker will be speaking on a project, Prepare to Speak Professionally, and it will be 18 to 22 minutes. The speech title is Getting the Best from Your Toastmaster Journey. Besides his project info, which I'll present in a few moments, Vinod would like us to look at his enthusiasm, the clarity of the idea, and was the message well received. So the purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing and presenting a longer speech, and it is 18 to 22 minutes. He's going to try to deliver an engaging keynote style speech. It could be humorous, informational, or any style he chooses. So please, well, actually, I'm not going to introduce him, but Vinod, we're all looking forward to your speech. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Evaluator Tony. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Vinod, who is also a trainer and a consultant. So I will now present Vinod Panicker. Keep the main thing, the main thing. Keep the main thing, the main thing. Vinod Panicker.
Once upon a time, in ancient India, there was a guru called Drona. He had a lot of disciples. One day, he decided to teach them archery. He took them near in front of a tree. He had kept a wooden bird inside the tree. He called his students one by one, asking them to look at the tree and to shoot at the bird. He called the first student, please come and take a position. The first student comes, takes the position. The guru asks, what do you see? He says, I can see the sky. I can see the trees. I can see the leaves. I can see the bird. The Guru says, step back. He calls another disciple. One by one, each one of them comes and they give the same explanation. They could see the sky, they could see the tree, they could see the leaves, they could see the branches and the bird. The last student was Arjuna. When Arjuna came and he took the stance, the Guru asked, what can you see? He said, I can see the bird and the bird's eye. The Guru says, shoot, zoom. And that was to the bull's eye. No, not to the bull's eye. It was to the bird's eye. This story is a very, very ancient story in India, and almost everybody knows because it is from the famous mythological story of Mahabharata. How does this relates to Toastmasters? That is what I am going to tell you today. Toastmaster of the day and dear leaders. It was 2017. 800 people in the audience. I was there for the district table topic finals. I killed the topic according to me, but not according to the judges. But many of my friends came after the contest and congratulated me and said, Vinod, you have won this, you have won this. And then came the names. Third, second, first. I was not there in any one of them. Now, generally in Toastmasters, what happens is, whenever someone loses contest, they pay tribute to the lineage of the judges and have a lot of gratitude towards their family. I too did that with a lot of anger. I went home and I told my wife and kids, I am going to leave Toastmasters. They were very happy because I could be there with them. For them, Toastmaster is something you do without getting paid. Now, for 2 months, I did not attend any meetings. And I was very angry. I wrote a lot of letters to the district because it was not only for me. One of my other club members who had taken part in evaluation had also lost. And I did not like that also. So I had taken up to the highest level and I was saying that something should be done. And 2 months, I did not attend any Toastmasters meeting. But after 2 months, I got a call from one of our senior Toastmasters. And she said, Vinod, I'm not seeing you in any Toastmasters meeting. What happened to you? And I told her that this is what happened. This was there. And I don't like this. All these district annual conventions are only there to select the leaders. All this world championship, all these things are good for nothing. They are just doing this for dummy purpose and all these things. And she asked me one question. What was your reason to join Toastmasters? And I was caught off guard. And I thought, a reason? I said, yes. Why did you join Toastmasters? After some time, I realized the depth of that question. I started attending the meetings back again. Let me ask all of you over here, what was the reason that you joined Toastmasters? Think about it. Now, the reasons keep evolving because the day you joined Toastmasters, you just wanted to be better. You just wanted to be better. But during the course, in our club meetings, I can see a lot of leaders who are here from last 10 years or plus 10 years. So I believe our reasons keeps evolving. But just as Arjuna was looking at the bird's eye, we should also not be looking at the sky, the trees, the branches. Our reasons should be our guiding force in Toastmasters. And once we keep this main thing, the main thing, no matter what happens, we will always focus on getting better. John Maxwell says this best. He says that each one of us gets into leadership thinking that how fast can I become a leader? And we keep asking this question, how fast can I become a leader? How fast can I become a leader? But after certain years, the question changes from how fast can I become a leader to how long can I go as a leader? And that is why we all are here to serve. Now, once you have the reason with you, now let me tell you how to get the best out of Toastmasters. There are only two things in Toastmasters. One is your club. Second is your curriculum. And if you are thorough with both of them, you will feel at home in any Toastmasters meeting or after 100 years also. It does not matter. So let me take you through what happens in a club. Each and every one of us, members over here, have joined the club for a reason. What is a club? A collection of members? No. What did Dr. Ralph C. Smedley say? A club is a laboratory. It is a laboratory to conduct your public speaking experiments and to practice your leadership. It's a place where you transform as a member. It's a place where you transform as a human being. Now, you may have 10 different reasons to join Toastmasters, but what Toastmasters says is, if you join us, there are 5 core competencies that you will learn with us. And I know most of you would be knowing that. Public speaking, interpersonal skills, strategic leadership, management, and confidence. These are the 5 core competencies in pathways. And from this, there are some 300 sub-competencies that emerge, and every path has got some 60 plus competencies. All these things you can practice in your club. So club is a place to transform. Now, how do you evaluate a club that whether you are transforming or not? What is the best way to do that? DCP? How many of you believe DCP is the best measure to measure a club? Raise your hands. How many of you don't believe that DCP is the best measure to measure a club? Raise your hands. I can see few hands raised. Yes. Thank you very much. And I completely agree with you. DCP is a very low bar to measure club success. One single member, if he selects 4 paths, if he completes 4 level 1s, 2 level 2, 2 level 3, 1 level 4, 1 level 5, your 6th educational goal is done, right? And I have seen this happening with clubs which have got only 8 or 10 members. They may only lose the DCP because they don't have enough membership, but getting education goal is not at all difficult. So then what is it, or how are you going to measure your club's success? For me, 4 years before, we had a session in our club. It was called as MOT, Moments of Truth. And once I went through that session for 45 minutes, I realized that that was the most powerful tool that Toastmasters have to evaluate a club. And even the area director report is completely based on the 6 components of Moments of Truth. I went a little bit deeper. How come? Because I know that Toastmasters does a lot of survey and condenses the best knowledge across the world and gives it in our manual. So I wanted to know how did this MOT came around. So in my research, what I found out was there is a book called as Moments of Truth. I don't recall the author's name, but he was the CEO of the Scandinavian Airlines. And he transformed the entire Scandinavian Airlines with this concept of Moments of Truth. He understood the touch points where all customers are interacting with the organization, and he transformed that. And that's how it came into Toastmasters. So use that tool, leaders, to help your club. The 6 components of, I will not go into the detail of 6 components, but you all know about it. Use that tool in every meeting. We can use that just as we do the general evaluation, we can do for MOT. The second is curriculum. Many people talk about curriculum. What is pathways? This happened, that happened. And I am like, what is there in pathway? If you go to a new country, imagine that there are 11 states. Each state, you have 5 small cities. Right? Now, what happens over there? If you have only been to 1 or 2 cities, you will not be knowing about the other 3 cities. So the best way is to go through all the cities in that states. So once you go through that, now you have the understanding that this is there in the entire country. So you will be comfortable to move around. You will not need a GPS. You will not need a mentor. And Pathways was designed to be a self-directed learning program. And let me tell you this, Pathways, 11 paths, 5 levels, path, level, project, speech, these are the individual units. In total, completely, there are only 68 projects in Pathways across 11 paths. In entire totality of Pathways. If you just click www.toastmasters.org, press enter, username login, click on welcome Tony, then you see the 3 blocks, go to Pathways, speech evaluation, tutorials and resources. Click on speech evaluation, scroll down, you see all the 68 projects. And I give you a challenge today to all my leadership colleagues, members, family. Every day, spend 10 minutes reading 2 projects, just 2 projects. In 35 days, you would be covering the entire Pathways. In the next 1 month, you can actually dig deeper into your own path and start teaching Pathways and training Pathways in your own clubs, because I know most of you are dual members. Let us master the curriculum, because until you master the curriculum, it would be very, very difficult to feel that you are completely at home. So I will give you all this challenge. Master that curriculum. The first thing was the club. The second thing is the curriculum. Now, just a second. Sorry. Yeah. So the mobile was ringing. It happens sometimes. So if you master your club experience, if you can get the best out of your club experience, and if you can master your curriculum and always focus on the reason, you will never look at the sky, the branches, the leaves. Your eyes will always be on the bird's eye. And in Toastmasters, my dear friends, that transformation of each and every member is what we leaders are looking for. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you very much, Vinod. Right, Madam Timer, can we have 1 minute so people can send Vinod some chats through the private chat or some comments through the private chat? Thank you very much, Mary Lou. And next, I would like to introduce Bud Brown, who is going to evaluate Francoise's presentation today. So Bud will give you the overview of what Francoise's purpose is today. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Peggy. Francoise is starting a new pathway today, and even though Vinod just informed us she may have done some of the elements of it already in her previous pathways, the beginning of a pathway is always the icebreaker. And that is what Francoise is doing today. She will be introducing herself to us. So the objective of this speech is just to begin speaking, but Francoise is already a very accomplished speaker. So watch for her ability to share with us about herself. Back to you, Peggy.
Thank you, Bud. So it is my pleasure today to introduce Francoise Bowen. The reason for this why, Francoise Bowen.
When you hear the word leader, what comes to your mind? When you hear the word speaker, who comes to your mind? When you hear the word communication, what comes to your mind? Distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Growing up, I was always told to shut up. Yes, and constantly told no, 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 when I was pursuing greater things for my life. Example, my studies. I believe by now, I would have at least 2 to 3 masters, a doctorate, yeah, a thriving, healthy, nonprofit organization. And also, I believe I've been married by now and have children. I honestly believe so. To admit to you, my leaders that is in this room, I look on these things, when I reflect on them, I look on them in a bitter way. But I'm asking God to change the bitter waters and make it sweet. I joined Toastmasters really because I need to learn how to speak, and not speaking, I'm talking about publicly, because publicly I recognize I had that natural ability to speak to persons very well, but is the privacy behind the lens of the camera when no one cannot see. I don't remember who introduced me to Toastmasters. I actually don't remember, but I do remember when I joined, how members made me felt welcome, appreciated. And I must say, Toastmasters married me right away. Did not had any fear of me or any favor. I was like, yes, I think I made the right choice. I looked on innovative planning. This is my next educational pathway. And I've recognized it has something that piqued me that I know will help me in some future development goals. Public speaker and leader, time management. And another thing is organizational skills. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go for this. The innovative planning really struck me, and I thought, and I know that it will help me with one of my goals, which is I want to become the future Governor General of my country, Antigua and Barbuda, the youngest. And I will be pursuing the studies that is needed for that. Right now, I'm an office administrative assistant, and also coupled with that, I have my own business, film business, where I do acting classes yearly, and have a charity organization, my humanitarian focus, which is on HIV/AIDS. The reason for my why is Toastmasters. Toastmasters is actually to help my reasons to be firm and grounded, and to understand how imperative it is to network with you, and all of you in this room, from Dubai to China to all across the globe. And I firmly believe that being with you, Toastmasters, the why in Toastmasters, I know will also help others in sharing when I'm sharing my stories. One of the things is I'm looking forward to be an author. I'm currently writing my first book, which is entitled The Four Expresses and the Child, which focus on events that happened to me being molested 4 times. And I know being a Toastmasters will definitely help me how to develop my writing skills and how to present myself properly when I'm called upon to be interviewed by the media or anyone. The reason for my why, Toastmasters is helping me in so many ways to remain firm and grounded as a public leader and a healthy speaker in particular, both privately and publicly. I hand the virtual lectern back over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Francoise. Can I ask the timer to give us 1 minute on the screen so we can give Francoise some comments for private chat, please? Thank you very much, Mary Lou. And now I would like to introduce our next evaluator, Ram Lockenpool, who is going to evaluate Marianna Burka's speech. So Ram, can I ask you to give the purpose of Marianna's presentation today, please? I believe Ram is here.
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
You got a knock on my door. I just wondered what that was. Our speaker today, Marianna Burka, will be speaking from a very, very lengthy speech, which I look forward to. The purpose of her speech is, the project that is for her to learn about a practice of facilitating question and answer session. And the other purpose would be for her to practice delivering an informative speech and running a well-organized question and answer session. And she's also responsible for managing her time, so there is adequate opportunity for both. And her timing on this is a lengthy speech, which is going to be 15 to 20 minutes. 15 at green, and the timer will know how to do the rest of it. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Ram. Okay. Marianna Burka has been a Toastmaster since October of 2018, and she enjoys participating at club meetings with a goal to improve her public speaking ability and enjoys taking on various roles. Her goal for this year is to earn the Triple Crown and to receive her first DTM. In her professional life, Marianna is a passionate wellness advisor, focusing mainly on weight management and muscle building. Today, as Ram mentioned, she is going to be presenting a Q&A session, and the timing I have here is green at 7, yellow at 15, and red at 20. And she asks that people keep their pen and paper handy so you can ask her some questions at the end of it. So please welcome Marianna Burka. Should we or shouldn't we? Should we or shouldn't we? Marianna Burka.
Please give me a sec. I have to share my screen and my OneDrive just disappeared on me. Here it is. Did you know if you just for 13 hours stop eating, your body start producing growth hormones, which not just stimulates the growth of your body, but it is also responsible for cell regeneration, hence keeping your body youthful. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. Do you remember what time you finished eating and drinking last night? If you can, please put it down on a piece of paper in front of you. And now, try to remember what time did you eat today when you started eating? And if you did that, please try to figure it out. How many hours passed between the two? Did you give your body 13 hours to start generating human growth hormone to keep your body young and youthful? Please put it in the chat and I'll be able to see it. How many hours? I tell you that I stopped eating at 8 o'clock in the evening, and so far I didn't eat. I am at 14 hours. So as you can, 8 hours. 8 hours is good. Who else? How many? Please. Just post your numbers on the chat. Thank you. So today we are going to talk about a very controversial topic. Yes. Oh, somebody has 16 hours. Wonderful. Congratulations, Menke. Yes, our topic today is about fasting. And it is controversial, even though we are all doing it, and we are doing it every day. Yes, still, it can bring up deep-seated disagreement when the time, the length of the fast comes up. Congratulations, bud. Good timing. As you might guess, I am a big advocate of regular fasting. And why is that? Please look at these words on my list and look at all those conditions. And these are all the side effects of fasting. There is no medication nowadays that can produce that many powerful effects on our body. Of course, stop eating for a few hours, not going to give you all these benefits, but only not eating 5 to 6 hours, which most of you did last night. Your glucose level will go down, your insulin to follow it. And as you heard, if you just add an extra 2-3 hours to your sleeping time, your body starts generating human growth hormones, start keeping you healthy. Now, if you are really feeling adventurous, you can go for another 3 or 4 hours without food. And that's when the magic really happens. It's called autophagy, which is a process where your cells self-clean themselves. We all love our ovens with a self-cleaning option. Isn't it wonderful that our body has a self-cleaning option? All you have to do, you just have to stop eating for 16 to 17 hours. Isn't that fantastic? And it is not that much. And this is what we call intermittent fasting. Or other name, we say it time restricted eating. Of course, longer the fasting period, more of and deeper the benefits. Once you reach 18 to 20 hours, your gut lining starts healing as a say of thank you from your body to giving it a break. With intermittent fasting, you still have to be careful and very mindful that what and how much you are eating. Some people even gain weight with this regimen. Intermittent fasting is more like a very healthy maintenance style lifestyle. Anything over 24 hours called prolonged fast. And this is where the real magic starts. Same rules applies. Longer the fast, more benefits you get. My favorite fasting length is 36 or 60 hours. If you want to control your weight or you want to lose some of it, this is the best length. After a little practice, most people can do it. And just imagine, you're already producing growth hormone, and longer you fast, more you will get that one. And it starts your body cleaning out your cells, producing growth hormones, regenerating your cells. And it can lessen your anxiety and depression. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work with Toastmaster speeches. So I'm still stressed. After 5 days, you won't get any extra benefits of your fasting. But what you will get, and existing ones are amplified. The chronic condition improve by reduce pain, your mobility. So you might wonder, what is the upper limit of fasting? How far can you go? Now, some people cannot go over 6 to 8 hours. But ultimately, it depends how much stored energy, how much fat you have on your body. And just a quick math for you. 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. And we all have more than 1 pound. So when someone says that, oh, I don't feel good, I don't have energy after not missing out my breakfast or my lunch, that is not because you don't have energy source. We all have it. And we should ask this gentleman,
Right.
what would he say about? He went on a 382-day fast. Imagine that, not eating over 1 year. And it worked for him. He lost 276 pounds and didn't die from it. He passed away 25 years later with, I guess, old age or who knows. So let's talk about something practical, how to start a fast. And this is the beauty about it. you don't have to prepare really. You don't have mandatory shopping list. You just, what you have to do, any idea? Yes, you have to stop eating and you're there. It's easy. So, and how long you stop eating is up to you. It's up to your discretion. The other question, how to stop fasting. And that is a more important question. How to start, we all can do it. We can start and we fast a night, we fast a day, 2 days, a week, 382 days. But when we stop, that matters. Now, if you are just intermittent fasting, you don't have to worry about anything. And up to 3 days, then again, you don't really have to do anything special. Outside, just use common sense and don't eat too much too fast. But if you overeat, all you will get is some digestive discomfort, which don't do it. Just be patient and eat slowly after fasting. But if your fast is longer than 5 days, it is a good idea to get help from a professional, since you will need a proper refeeding schedule. And that would consist of a very easily digestible juices, broths, and slowly increasing the calories over several days. Now, these were just a few of the basics of fasting. But now I hope you have some questions so I can hone in to your interest. So I'm listening, and if you have a question, raise your hand. Yes, CG, please unmute yourself, and I'm listening.
Now, I have done up to, I think, 96-hour fasts on occasion. Does coffee with a little splash of cream knock you out of your state of fasting?
Well, coffee not, cream, it's how much is that cream? I mean, 10, 20 calories worth is not going to knock you out. But the way I see it, if you fast and if you put all that energy, and it is a certain amount of suffering because you do have to give up your food, might as well get rid of that little splash of fat and just go with a black coffee. But I gave up my coffee altogether. And everyone knows here, I'm a caffeine addict. But when I'm fasting, I just drink green tea. It's easier not to put that little splash of fat in there. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, please? Yes, Fabiola?
You mentioned just now that most of us do have a lot of fat for the energy, but when you start fasting and you start feeling lightheaded and the urgency to eat because you're starting to get a headache, what is the cause and what can you do to maintain your fasting?
Well, first of all, the cause is most likely is that we are all addicted to food. And when you take away the center of your addiction, like coffee, you don't drink coffee, you get a headache. And when you take away your food, you will get jittery and you feel like you're just gonna die from hunger. The most of the time, when we feel hungry, we really feel thirsty. So my first suggestion would be to have a big glass of water. And if you're fasting more than 24 hours, I would suggest to put a bit of salt, sea salt. Celtic sea salt is a very good idea to use because it's full of minerals. And maybe a splash of lemon. And that can help with headaches, jitterness. And then it's depending how often you fast. At the beginning, you might have to just suffer through. But don't worry, these are not negative side effects. These are just side effects of withdrawal from food. And most people get better with salt, water, and lemon. Thank you for your question. Yes, Sharon?
Thank you, Marianna. I have two questions.
Yeah.
First one is, how do you fast if you're a diabetic on insulin? And the second question is, when you start fasting, does it matter what time of the day do you start? Is it easier to start at night before you go to bed and then continue on? What is your response to those two questions?
Thank you very much for your question. And I start with the second one. I personally prefer to start fasting in the evening because I already have, by the time I get up in the morning and even have a chance to think about food, I already done like 8-10 hours. And that's a good start. But then again, it depends what kind of fast and why are you fasting. There are a 24-hour fast, which I would suggest you start at noon. So you don't have any day without food, but yet you can do a 24-hour circle. So you start eating at 12 noon, and you eat 12 noon until next day, and then stop eating from 12 noon and not eating. So that's a 24-hour, you can say, alternate day fasting. That is pretty much the only time when I would say don't start in the evening. But otherwise, my favorite is start with the evening. About diabetic people, actually, I don't know if you know Dr. Jason Funk. He's a Toronto kidney specialist, and he is a huge advocate for fasting because he has tons of patients with diabetes, insulin dependent. And this is the easiest way to get people off from insulin and correct the diabetes. The only suggestion I would have that you need help, professional help, to make sure you have to control and you have to watch your glucose level so you don't go too low. But it is the best way to kind of get rid of diabetes. And you can do it within a month or two, depending how deeply. Now, mind you, this is for type 2 diabetes we're talking about. Type 1, it can help, but cannot cure it because that's an autoimmune disease. Thank you for your question. Any other question, please? Yes, Sharon?
Sorry, another question for you, Marianna.
Yes.
So when you're fasting, are you staying at home because you're going to the washroom a lot more? Or how does that affect that part of the system?
I'm not staying at home if I'm fasting. If I have to go out, I will go. And you don't go more to the washroom. I didn't notice that, more washroom visit would come of a detoxification program, and you should not do that together. So no, you can go out. I do my exercises when I'm fasting. I actually wouldn't fast without exercising, because when you're losing weight from fasting, you still lose muscle mass as well, not just fat. But with the exercise, you can kind of counteract it. So you keep your muscle and get rid of the fat. And that's the goal. Thank you. Peggy.
Yes, thank you, Marianna. My question is similar to Sharon's as far as getting medical expertise prior to starting a fast, because I too have some medical issues where I take medication for the acid production in my stomach. So do you recommend speaking to your family doctor first prior to starting a fast, especially if you have medical conditions?
Thank you very much, Peggy, for your question. And it's important to clear that up. If you are on medication, most medication you can combine with fasting, maybe not all kind of fasting, but definitely the intermittent fasting can be combined with medication. But in those cases, you should talk to your doctor, your practitioner, just to be on a safe side and get the approval. Thank you very much. Venkat?
Thank you, Marianna. It's a wonderful topic, which is of my love and choice. Quick question, is that why detoxification, like the juicing or anything of that sort, not be combined with the intermittent fasting? What is the disadvantage or what is that we are going to lose?
When you are doing intermittent fasting, that basically time restricted eating. which means you are eating every day. You just pick your eating window, which the most popular is 8 hours or 6 hours eating time. And during that eating time, you can eat or drink anything you desire. But as I mentioned earlier, you do have to be mindful, because even 4 hours, you can eat lots of food. And that's why some people don't lose weight at intermittent fasting, because intermittent fasting is not give you a power to eat whatever and whenever you want, I mean, within the time frame. But you can have anything your regular diet have.
Got it. Yeah, one more question. Like when I started, right, for the past year, I lost ton of weight, and now I switched it off for some time, and then again I started weight gain, for sure, which is obvious. So now my question is, now I'm not losing much of a weight, particularly the tummy fat. So is that something else I need to do, but to have the good advantage of this?
All right, thank you very much. And this is our last question, because I already got the red sign, but let's go back to, as I mentioned earlier, that just fasting is kind of a first step in your life transformation. And you have to change your lifestyle, because whatever get you to the position that you needed fasting, you needed to lose weight. If you don't change your lifestyle, you will go back there after you stop fasting. So it's a give and take, it's a balancing action. You fast and slowly change it just gives you a bit of extra time. You slowly change your lifestyle. You eat less processed food, or you eat less fat, whatever is in my case, I drink glass latte. And once you finish fasting, you have to keep the new lifestyle. And fasting should be forever part of your life, just maybe not as often as during the weight loss period. But everyone should, I don't know, maybe 1 day a week without eating is a really healthy way to go. Well, me personally, I did a 7-day fast, and I'm gonna do that twice a year, because it helps to heal your body. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I will touch base with you for sure. I mean, if you could share your email or whatever,
I will put it in a chat.
I really appreciate it, ma'am. Kind of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone, for the questions. And back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Marianna. And can the timer give us 1 minute, please, to give Marianna some feedback in the private chat? Thank you very much, Mary Lou. All right, I'm now going to ask our timer if she can give us the timing for our speakers today. Mary Lou, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Today's speech times, Vinod, you were 13 minutes and 53 seconds, even with your little interruptions, which was fantastic. Francoise, you were 5:23. And Marianna, you were at 21:45 with the explanations, which were great. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary Lou. And do we have a poll so we can vote for the person who we think was the best speaker today?
I guess people should just put a name to your message you directly because we didn't prepare a poll as far as I know.
Okay.
So please put your vote into Peggy's messaging, please. In the
And
chat.
just
You know.
as a reminder, our speakers were for the leadership speak, Vinod Panicker. Our second speaker was Francoise Bowen with her icebreaker. And our second speaker was Marianna Burka with her wonderful presentation on fasting. I think I have to get some advice from her as well.
I'm here all around.
All right, so if you can continue sending me the vote, I can collect that over the break. But for now, we are going to take a 5-minute break. So it is 10:31 now. So if I can ask people to give up a minute of their break and come back at 10:35, that would be wonderful. And we'll see you then.
Marianna. Oh, is she not there?
Yes,
Peg.
I'm here listening. I just
Okay.
have to reset my table since I'm
Okay.
sit. Yes.
Every time I try to log on here, because I tried for almost 20 minutes,
Okay.
I can't get in. Does the password and everything change every week?
No, we have the same password and login information since I think June, mid-June.
Okay.
So we can talk about that and I can show you to make sure you get in every time easier.
Okay.
To the meeting, maybe sometimes we get together on Zoom or something and we figure it out. Actually, we do have a group, a speak and lead group, Monday evening at 8 o'clock and Friday morning at 8 o'clock, when anybody can sign in with any question and we figure it out together.
Okay.
Group.
Okay. Thank you.
Jessica, are you in the house?
Yes, I am.
Yes, hi, Jessica. Welcome to Leadership Speak. Are you the first time visitor here at Leadership Speak?
I am, yes, I am first time.
And?
I attended, I'm not too sure whether it's the same. I attended the leadership, the one that was 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah.
Aha, okay.
Yeah.
And
so that was the first
yeah.
time then. So here it is, to attend the meeting, this is the first time. But I am a Toastmaster and I've been a Toastmaster for a few years.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Thank you very much for joining us. I'd like to speak to Yvonne.
Thank you.
Yvonne. Thank you.
Good
Yvonne?
morning.
Yes, good. Well, for me, it's good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
And are you a first timer at Leadership Speak?
No, please. I've been here now like almost 6 months now attending.
Oh, okay, okay. Can we onboard you? How far have you been progressing in the pathways?
I'm now at level 3.
Good. Then we can onboard you. And Nayalia. Forgive me for not pronouncing your names correctly.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm a Toastmaster from St. Kitts and Nevis and a part of Sugar City Toastmasters Club. I joined Toastmasters back in 2020. And it is my first time at the meeting. It was a wonderful meeting, and so congratulations on a very impressive meeting.
Aha, okay. Welcome to Leadership Speak.
Thank you.
And Suzanne.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
And did you enjoy the meeting up to now? Are you going to fast or intermittent fasting or?
Oh, I've been juggling with the intermittent fasting just because I don't have a regular schedule in eating, but I do, and it's true, when I do fast, even when it's inadvertently, I do feel better. So I sort of wondered, why am I eating?
So Marianna is the expert on that. If you get stuck, knock on her door, she'll help you.
Thank you.
I did put my email in the chat. You can find it.
Yes, you can contact her. And Bijuraj.
Good evening. Hello.
Yes, hi. Yes,
Yeah, hi. Hello. How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm
Is it good
Toastmaster
evening?
Bijuraj from Saudi Arabia.
Are you from the
Can
east
you-
or from the west?
It's audible.
Yes, you are. Are you from the east or from the west?
I'm
Must I say
Toastmaster
good morning?
Bijuraj.
And have you enjoyed the meeting so far at Leadership Speak?
Here in the evening.
That's
Here in
good.
Saudi Arabia, it's 8:30 evening.
Now we'll have something very interesting, and that is table topics. And then we'll have the evaluations of
Yeah,
all the speakers.
Toastmaster. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And is it Marianna?
Hello.
Yes, thank you very much, Bijuraj. And Marianna?
Okay.
Hello.
The time is up just now. Oh, time is up already. Okay.
Thank you, Hannah.
Yes.
All right.
And thank you very much. Sorry, I have to scratch my eye. Welcome back from your break, and I am convinced that you feel inspired by our great leaders, and that you will listen to the second session or the next session now of our meeting. Peggy, the floor or the virtual floor is yours again. Over to you.
Thank you, Hannah. The second part of our meeting, we all get to be leaders and demonstrate our leadership skills. So it's a really nice part of the meeting as well. So without further ado, I am going to introduce our table topic master, Mary Lou, who is doing double duty for us today. So Mary Lou, if you can briefly describe your role, and the virtual floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. My role as Table Topics Master today is to give you an opportunity to speak on a topic that you have no idea what I'm going to ask you to do. It's just your opportunity to go, oh, what do I say when I am confronted with something, and to have a conversation easily. So here we're going to go with our table topics today. Our theme of today is leaders inspire us to be better. How do we as leaders become better? The Dalai Lama says, just one positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. Many of us have an inspirational quote, which is our beacon. Mine is, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. For table topics today, I'm going to share a quote, and then I'm going to ask someone in the audience, and you'll have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. And you're going to tell me, or you're going to tell us, how does this quote inspire you to become better? And if you can, how can you mirror this to the world? So in other words, how can you appear better to the world? I am going to pick on, not my evaluators just now, but Suzanne, would you be willing to speak?
Yes.
Great. Your quote is, Ralph Waldo Emerson says, what lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies inside of you.
It's important to have your inner light. It's important to let that inner light shine out. And that inner light will direct you to the right path. Sometimes you may take a small detour or a big detour, but that's all right. As long as you listen to your inner light, as long as you let it shine. And when you let it shine, you are also lighting somebody else's life, somebody else's path. You are a leader and you are showing the path, but you are not telling them which path to take. You are letting them decide their own path, but you're always there to walk beside them. Light up your life, light up everybody's life. Let your inner light shine.
Thank you. The next person I'm going to ask if they'd like to participate is Nyalia Parry. Nyalia, you want to participate?
Sure, I can give it a try.
Wonderful. Albert Einstein said, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving.
Okay, so good morning once again. And Mary Lou, just allow me to actually confess something before I start. I don't know how to ride a bicycle, but I can imagine what the quote is saying. What it's saying to me is that in life, you will face challenges. As you go along your journey, you will encounter both good and bad things. So as much as possible, you need to have what I like to call 10 poles in your life that will help you to stay focused, stay balanced, and can get you through a tough time or difficult time. Also, as you ride your bicycle, most people ride through a park or some place picturesque. So for me, it also means that there are beautiful things in life that you should make sure you take the time out to stop and enjoy, smell the roses, if I may. So that is what that quote means to me.
Thank you very much, Nyalia.
Okay.
Okay, Marianna, is there a reason why your hand's up?
Just for the timer, so everybody can see that my.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Peter, would you like to participate today?
Sure. Am I the right Peter or am I the California Peter?
No, you're the right Peter. You're the right Peter.
Okay.
This one is by Aristotle. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light.
I think that's a great quote for me, because when life gets difficult or most difficult, whether it's work, whether it's in the family, or whether it's just anywhere, and life seems to be overburdening and dark and almost depressing, is when I have the biggest challenges to overcome. And the opportunity to overcome those challenges usually end in success. It seems to be dark, but I know from past experience that working hard, being diligent, persevering will overcome the challenges. And as the folks frequently say there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. The tunnel is dark, the challenges are dark, but there is the light in the end of the tunnel that I always look forward to, and about most of the time I achieve. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Peter, for that. Fabiola, can I welcome you to the club and ask if you want to participate today? Great. If the highest aim of a captain were to preserve his ship, he would keep it in port forever, said Thomas Aquinas.
That, for me, typifies a good leader. As a captain, you are a good leader. And indeed, if you want to keep the ship, your only goal is to keep the ship safe, you will never venture out. But being a good leader, you will also look at opportunities and knowing that venturing out will give opportunity for each and every member on the ship will grow and will experience greater things. You take the risk on you as a leader, but also taking into consideration all that are on the ship under your care and looking up to you to go and share with them and give them an experience that will benefit them in the long run. And they can see the transformation in that process. Back to you, Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Fabiola, for that. Let's try Yvonne. Yvonne, are you interested in participating today?
I'm afraid that I might not fulfill your wishes.
No, you are going to be, you came online, so we love it. Amelia Earhart said, "The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is mere tenacity."
Table topics master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The most difficult thing is to act. There's always fear in making decisions to act. But I believe that when you step out and make the first step, that you may continue and you will transform into what you would like to be, or what other persons would like you to be. I'm stuck.
That's okay.
Thank
If
you.
that's it, that's okay. Thank you very much. Good job. Venkat, do you want to join us today?
Venkat had a message in the chat saying he had to step away for a minute.
Okay. Oh, he's back.
I'm back. Thank you so much. Your wishes, command, ma'am.
Okay, so you're going to play, right?
I'll try my little best. Thank you so much.
Okay. Napoleon Hill said, "If you can't yet do great things, do small things in a great way."
Yes, I totally agree with his comment. And when it is that we will not be able to achieve all things at a time. So I believe that one would start small, like my best friend today and my genius today is Marianna. So she started telling that you should start with the high determination when you want to do it. So I kind of not believed in doing the intermittent fasting. When somebody else told me that, I said, what on the earth you are trying to say, man? I cannot do that. It is the same me. I started with little number of hours, increased and increased. Now I'm able to withstand 16 plus hours too. So it is always we start small, and importantly, what I believe is that one should believe in ourselves, and so everybody has a lot of potential we got to dig through. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Venkat.
Thank you.
Harry, Diana, you want to play today? Need your speaker off.
Okay.
Perfect. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Wonderful. So Benjamin Disraeli said, one secret of success in life is for a man to be ready for his opportunity when it actually comes.
Yeah, I do really love that quote because we want to transform ourselves in all kind of aspect in our life, then we have to be ready in all the situation, because when opportunity comes along aside in every situation and we feel like we don't ready, then of course we cannot take that. So first we need to feel that we have to be ready in all situations so we can take the first step to take action in whatever it comes to us. But if we scare or if we feel like we are too far from the word ready itself, then we cannot even take the first action. So it's really important for us to be ready in all situations and to set the right mindset that we should be ready in all situations, no matter what it comes. Because if we want to get along in all conditions, we should be ready to be able to take action. I think just it for me.
Thank you very much. Good job. Jessica, would you like to play today?
Yes, that's fine. I'll go. Yeah, I'll do.
Oh, wonderful. There you are. C.S. Lewis said, "You're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream."
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master and fellow Toastmasters. I strongly believe that as a human being, there's always room for growth. There is always room for development. And as the saying goes, we learn something new every day. Irrespective of whether you are young, you are old, there is always something to learn. And there is still value for you in life that you can show to other people, that you can share with other people. I go for park runs on a Saturday. And recently, one of the members in our club who is doing a park run with us, which is a 5-kilometer run, 3-mile run, is a 95-year-old lady. And she started at 88. So that shows you're never too old to set a goal and you can always achieve it. Over to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Jessica. That message is so loud and clear. It is amazing. B. Juraj, would you like to participate today? I can't see whether they are on or off. Give 35. Nope. Okay. No answer. Who else? I'm trying to not pick on the evaluators because I know they're writing, so I'm leaving them out for the time being. That about sums it up. Tony, are you finished evaluating?
Okay.
All right.
Lay it on.
Mahatma Gandhi said, "Learn as if you will live forever. Live like you will die tomorrow."
That was such a good quote. Could you repeat it again?
I can. Learn as if you will live forever. Live like you will die tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, I'm sure I've heard that quote a number of times. And of course, we hear a lot of quotes. And the first part of the quote, actually, I'm going to be stealing from, I think, a previous table topic speaker about always trying to learn. You know, of course, I'm not a runner. I'm amazed at 95-year-old. That's great. I'm 67 years old, and and Peter Letzman knows the story. I'm in law school. I've written 18 exams in 5 years. I got 2 more to go. So why? Well, because I'm learning as if I'm going to live forever in my mind. So, and I'm using that stuff. It's great stuff I'm learning. Yeah. As far as living, for the moment, I believe in that. I count my blessings every day. I wake up in the morning and like another quote, I have good thoughts in the morning. It's a good way to start. Just something that's good. I try to do something nice first thing in the morning. So it's about the mind, isn't it? The mindset. That quote you gave me refers to the mindset. How do I feel about my situation? What am I going to do about it? And I've given you my answer. I trust it's a good answer. I like it. And I think that's the most important thing is I like my answer. I feel good about it. And every day is a good day. Hey, and thanks for including me in this.
Thank you very much, Tony. Always a pleasure. Sharon actually volunteered. So Sharon, I'm going to give you this one. Marcus Cicero said, "More is lost by indecision than by the wrong decision."
Madam Table Topics Master, what an interesting quote. I think when sometimes we worry too much and we don't make a decision, we lose out on an opportunity. And an opportunity also is when we make a decision, and it's not necessarily the best one, but we've made one. And that's where we learn from. We learn when we make mistakes, because then we can transform that mistake into a positive experience and apply that information going forward. So for me, that's so important to make a decision and not sit on that fence, because the fence doesn't get you anywhere and it frustrates everyone else. So transform your indecision into a decision. Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Sharon. And the last one that we will have today is Peggy.
All right. Go for it there, Mary Lou.
Wayne Dwyer said, "If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change."
Thank you very much for that quote, Mary Lou. If you change the way you look at things, the way things look changes. And that's very true, because as far as I'm concerned, there's always 2 different ways to look at things, at least. One can be very negative, and I call it on the dark side. But quite often you can look at that same event and not put it on the light side, because there's nothing light about it, but it is something that you can learn from. One of the things that I used to do in a previous life pertained to risk management. So even when something really horrible happened, you could always look at that event and find positive ways to move past it and make sure it never happened again. I think that is what that quote says to me, that even though I'm not changing the severity or the seriousness of something negative that happens, that our responsibility as a good leader is to make sure we look at all sides of that particular event and make sure we can move forward in a positive way And most of all, make sure that negative event never happens again. Back to you, Mary Lou.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. And that's it for Table Topics today. Table Topics is for having fun and learning. The thing that I'd like to reemphasize for all of us as leaders is we need to be positive and we need to walk the talk. So be positive and shine the light going forward. Back to you, Madam Table Topics.
Thanks very much, Mary Lou. All right, can I ask our second timer, Marianna, just to report the topic times, please?
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. So Susan spoke 54 seconds, Natalia 1 minute 2 seconds, Peter Letzman 1 minute 5 seconds, Fabiola 1 minute 13 seconds, Yvonne 40 seconds, Venkat 1 minute and 9 seconds, Marianna 57 seconds, Jessica 54 seconds, Tony 1 minute and 50 seconds, Sharon 53 seconds, and Peggy 1 minute and 32 seconds. And this is my report.
Thank you very much, Marianna. And now I am going to ask, we don't have the polls at this meeting today, so if everybody could send Mary Lou a private message on who they think had the best table topic, or the one that they appreciated the most anyways from their perspective, because they were all great. And I'll just give 1 minute for that as well, please. And just for all of you who don't know, Billy just came to join me. He's one of my kitty cats. So we have another guest at the meeting. All right, so now I am going to introduce our general evaluator, Fabiola. If you can give an overview of your role, Fabiola, that would be great.
Thank you very much. And yes, I am honored to take on the role of being the general evaluator. Was looking forward to it, but traveling, I did had some problems logging in, but I do have a great team that has been paying attention and will be giving us feedback, each and every presenter, and also the overall parts of how we are managing this meeting. For starter, I would like to call on our first evaluator who will be evaluating the speech of our leadership speech, and I lost on my phone my agenda, but I think our first evaluator, yes, is Tony, which I would like to call on Tony. Please, floor is yours.
Hey, thank you, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and especially you, Vinod. Vinod, first off, I'll make a correction. Vinod's speech title actually was Getting the Best from Your Toastmaster Journey. I should have said that. Okay, now I've corrected that. And that title actually fits into what Vinod was presenting. Now, getting back on track, Vinod, when you challenged us to get the best from our Toastmaster journey, at the same time, you were challenging me as your evaluator to give you my best effort to give a evaluation of your masterful speech. Three things I really liked: the opening and the closing. The guru, disciples, the bird's eye. You elaborated the opening very well, and you touched upon it at the end. You had more time to do more of a closing on that, but you did relate to it. So that was a deliberate, excellent point of structuring a speech. Well done. You weaved what I liked. You weaved 3 segments, and I won't repeat them because you said it better than I can. You talked about your table topics, disappointment, and why that Toastmaster said to you, why did you join Toastmasters? What is your focus? Good, okay. And then of course you talked about the moments of truth as a club standard, and you talked about the curriculum of pathways. And the third thing I liked was your enthusiasm. You asked us to pay attention. It was obviously there. Your enunciation was clear. Every sentence was distinct. And these are signs of well preparation and good practicing. So you put effort into this thing. On a side note, I also liked the way you handled the technical distraction of the cell phone ringing. Hey, Vinod, it's not great. It happens. And I'm learning to live with the fact that these things will always happen. You handle that well. So it's a compliment, not a criticism. I'm going to give you an idea what I think could have been better. From me, okay, from me. You are trying to be compelling, to encourage us to do something, to get the best out of our Toastmaster journey. But it was subjective. It was about pathways. And you're preaching to the converted because we're Toastmasters. Yeah, and I'm sure everyone loved your masterful speech. But for me, I would have been more compelled if you had challenged me to, and you looked in the camera and you said to me and others, what do you want out of life? What's Toastmasters going to do for you in life? No, and I don't know if you saw your beautiful young son walk in the background, but if you did, and if you're aware of it, you could have pointed to him and said, that's why, So I think, okay, so the compelling part is a matter of degree. You did compel. I'm suggesting that if this was a room of non-Toastmasters, you would have convinced almost everyone to join. So you were compelling, and you could be even more compelling. So that is your journey. After all, your journey is not finished. Overall, masterful presentation, well practiced. It was a workshop on how to put his speech together. And you gave us excellent ideas. And it always is a pleasure. I look forward to it again. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that evaluation. And I think indeed Toastmaster Vinod could find and get a lot of nuggets out of that to transform other speeches in a better way. Our next evaluator will be evaluating our second speaker, which was Toastmaster Francoise, and our evaluator is Toastmaster Bud. The floor is yours. No?
Goals. We're told we have to have goals. And so, Francoise, you gave us your goals. You told us about the goals that you had set for yourself in life. And I thought this was a great way to start your speech. And then you flipped it on its head and told us how you hadn't achieved any of those goals at a certain point in your life. And then you transformed the speech into understanding your why. This is perhaps, in my opinion anyways, is perhaps the best way you could have told us about yourself, which is, after all, the objective of the icebreaker speech. Now, I have to offer improvements or things that you could have made the speech even more powerful with, and tough to choose. I'm going to skip right on by the technical glitch where your servers froze on you, because that you can't do anything about that. But I want to move to your conclusion. You concluded with, well, that's about all I've got, and passed it back to the Toastmaster. It was abrupt, and it was a shocker because I was sitting there just absolutely radiating, taking in the radiation from your wonderful message. I would have suggested, especially since you had time, you only spoke for 5 minutes and 23 seconds, perfectly good for legal lengths for a contest speech, but you had time to spare. You could have gone back to the goals. You could have said, I had goals and I didn't achieve all of the goals that I wanted. But when I realized that I had to recognize my why, and when I started aiming toward that, then I got something worthwhile, Madam Toastmaster. And it would have wrapped everything up very nicely and tied it in a bow. Now, I also want to take a moment and talk about all the great things you did. You have wonderful vocal variety. You used intensity. You used varied speeds. You used volume. Wonderful uses of vocal variety. And I like the way you looked at the camera for most of the speech. But at one point, you were talking to us in the audience, and your eyes went down to your screen. And I thought, what a great device to get us to differentiate between your use of the camera and your use of the screen. We're told we have to have goals, but you taught us we have to have a why. Madam General Evaluator.
For that, Toastmaster Bud. Very well done. And our third evaluator for today is going to evaluate our last speaker. And our last evaluator for the speeches, prepared speeches, is Toastmaster Ram. Toastmaster Ram, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. Madam GE, yes. Evaluation. What did I like about Marianna's speech? There was a curiosity in my mind when the title came out, should I or shouldn't I? And that not only put the curiosity in my mind, but for those that were attending this meeting, what is Marianna going to talk about? And how about your speech purpose? You reached the speech purpose quite well. Does it resemble the content? Yes, it did. Did you address the demographics? Will it resonate with those? Yes, it did. Because the questions and answers were indicative of the interest level of the speech. It had an engaging storyline and a very, very clear message as well about the specificity of what is that you're talking about, your title. And intermittent fasting is something that we can all relate to. If you were to look at the demographics in here, we will remember. How will you remember? How will I remember the speech? I think we will be saying, Marianna, I'll remember you as the diet lady, which is good. And the other thing that I like right off the bat is your PowerPoint presentation, just indicating or something different. What a Chinese proverb said was, a picture is worth 1,000 words. It had a storyline to it. It was that good. But let me go on to another portion of what else. What you did was you did a humor. Self-cleaning oven body. I like that. I think it was very, very good. And your level of confidence, you are a healthcare professional in a way, and you brought that about. And it is a profession that you're comfortable with. It is very good. And your fielding of questions from the attendees, very timely, very appropriate, very engaging. Things that you want to work on a little bit, perhaps would be, if you have clients, for instance, because you're in that profession, could you say, well, here are my clients. You had an example of another client or who was very, very obese. That was okay. But if you were to say, I am talking with my personal experience, here are some of the clients and here are the results. And you mentioned a doctor to challenge yourself in another way. If you were to look at, I know this doctor you referred to, who lives in Toronto, by the way, Dr. Jason Fung. I watched many of his YouTube videos. He talks about if you want to reduce and maybe possibly eradicate diabetes, there are ways in which you diet, maybe intermittence as well. And that is really, really good. Alternative to losing weight. Is there another way of losing weight or in bringing about betterment of us? Yes, there is. You could have do that. But overall, I would say the only thing, the other objective was for your timing. It went a little bit over time. I don't know exactly. I believe it's 1 minute and some seconds. So I would have did that a little bit, ensure that the timing was correct. The timing has to be correct. That is the only thing. Overall, great speech, Marianna. I would want you to look at singularity and plurality a little bit more when saying things like Toastmaster and Toastmasters, things of that nature. Otherwise, a great speech, and we all look forward to another engaging speech such as that. Back to you, Madam GE.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Round, for that. And now I would like to ask our timer for this segment if you can just give us the times of the evaluators.
Thank you very much, Madam G. So Tony spoke 3 minutes and 50 seconds, but 2 minutes and 46 seconds, and Ram 4 minutes and 18 seconds. This is my report.
Thank you. At this point, I see that there was a reminder for us to vote for the best evaluator. If we can do that and send I think it's for Peggy, that you would say send all the, yeah? Oh, yes, we have now our poll up. So we can go ahead and vote for the best evaluator. Okay, we'll give you a couple of seconds. And we will then now move on to our grammarian report. Our grammarian for today is Sharon. Sharon, can you give us your report of the grammarian?
Sure, Madam GE, fellow Toastmasters and guests. What a fantastic meeting with our word usage. There's a very big difference between this club and other clubs. And one thing that I really liked were the phrases, the quotes that we were using, and we cited the source, whether it was in table topics or at the beginning when Vinod said, a club is a laboratory, and that was mentioned by Ralph Smedley. I really enjoy those quotes. Well done. Some of the word phrases: loses their compass, gratitude towards their family, depth of that question, singularity and plurality, indicative of the interest level, masterful presentation, every sentence distinct, weaved 3 sections. We put our words together really well so they are powerful. The pauses here, instead of saying and ah, there was a few, but not enough to focus on that. And I think once you have a more experienced Toastmaster, we know how to effectively pause when we need to. And that was really noticeable at this meeting. So those are my report. That's part of my report. I also like the self-cleaning ovens like our bodies. That was a good comparison for us to really understand where you were coming from, Marianna. I loved that. And I loved how people emphasized words so that it supported what they were saying, like real magic starts. So that's all part of being a grammarian to me is listening and how we present ourselves. Transform was used almost 10 times, I think 9 or 10. So congratulations, everyone. And Madam G, that's my report.
So much for that. Very encouraging, and especially being someone that is English is not my native language, so getting these points really helps to focus and point out and see where we can take good examples and also improve ourselves. Next, I'm going to give you a report of how I viewed this meeting. I came in late, yes. Traveling does give you some not sense of having everything in place, but I managed to come in, and as soon as I come in, I feel this vibe of having this meeting running smoothly. I got into listening to speeches that were touching. But for my role as GE, I still wanted to get someone to share with us the start of the meeting. So I picked two-person to help me in this part to give one or two object or what they found about the start of the meeting. And I would like to call on Toastmaster Tony to help me in this.
Oh, that's quite a segue. And Madam GE, you want me to report on what? To comment on?
The start of the meeting, how if there
Oh,
were things that you want to point out
oh,
or something that you can improve.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And actually, you know, Hannah was precise in throwing out the welcome mat for every person. No, Hannah, yeah, well done. You made sure everybody was welcome. You could feel Hannah was on a mission. And then, of course, we started on time, as Hannah always does. And that's just one thing, right? We had a good, warm reception. And Hannah was able to navigate without offending anybody, you know, and welcome people as they came on board. So, yeah, you know, this is not found in every club meeting. Hopefully it's found in every one of our club meetings, but today it definitely was. I know for sure. So Hannah, well done. Oh, and thanks for letting me say that, Madam GE.
Thank you for that. Yes, I missed that then. But luckily, I got to that feeling during the break when Hannah took over. And that is one of the remarks I have as GE. You did a marvelous job connecting with everyone, especially with our guests, and getting them to speak. Most of the time, at the end of the meeting, they are not there anymore, so you made sure to incorporate them, and that for sure gives us the good vibe of having a good meeting. I would like to call one more person that might give something maybe other than that. I don't know if Bud has seen my message, but Bud, are you willing to share something? Maybe something that we can improve, or from the start, only from the start of the meeting?
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. I really only have a very brief comment, and that is in praise of Hannah and her starting of the meeting. Even before the meeting began, she was interacting with guests and getting their input and making sure that they knew they could be involved. And then she started the meeting right on time. Praise to our Sergeant at Arms. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you for sharing that. And my further observations throughout the meeting, indeed, all the speakers, they gave us a content that each and every one of us can take a lot out of it. Very well prepared, paced, and then especially when getting from the evaluators the feedback, you could see that this was also something that from the evaluation, it was more, here is where we can if, elevate yourself to make it even better, because it was already a good speech and a good interaction with us. What I liked also that each and everyone had their role crafted out, and it made the meeting flow smoothly. We had to double up, but even that didn't give an, a, something that didn't make the meeting go smooth, because even though they had to double up, they could pick up and get the meeting going that you didn't see it. So I like the way the timer and the backup timer took it up, so we could manage that part. What I would suggest is for the sergeant at arms, maybe this is something that you can put on, getting the control of the meeting. So to help with the spotlighting, the backup timer did an excellent job by putting up the raised hand so it comes to the front of the meeting, but then also with controlling by the host to put it in the first window. It also stays there at the same spot so everyone can see it. The other thing that can help with managing this is maybe take that others can pin a viewer, because at a certain point I was looking at the word of the day, which is nicely done in the background. But if you have the screen full and you want to concentrate on what is written, pinning for yourself, for your own, that specific window will help. But it will also help when, especially in this case, the table topic master was spotlighted, and I wanted to see who is talking. For myself, I can pin it. So those are some suggestions that we can improve the experience of participating. My what it will help also to give some pointers to the speakers, the table topic speakers. Now we had a lot today, so I cannot go through all of them, but a couple of them that I wanted to highlight was those that did an excellent job, but also can make an improvement. I like the way that Peter's Nayaira said, well, I need to confess that I'm not a biker, but you did something with the speech. Make that part of your speech, and I like the way that you still could give us some pointers. By the way, I like the topics that the table topic master came up with, because it gave us also something to work on. Thank you so much for being part of the team and helping each and every one of us to improve ourselves. And I hope these pointers also will help each and everyone. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the meeting.
Thank you very much, Fabiola. And we're running a little behind schedule right now. So what I'm going to do is turn the meeting right over to our club president, fearless leader, Bram Mamone, so he can say a few words to you and welcome the guests. The floor is yours, Bram.
Thank you. As you can see, my voice is congested. You can probably hear that. It has been congested for quite a while. It wouldn't go away because I don't take medication anyways. I like to just cure myself naturally. So it's taking its time, but I'm here. I want to especially thank Fabiola for being the general evaluator on the very first time that, she just became a member, August the 1st, and this is our very first meeting. So Fabiola, thanks so much for stepping forward and into the unknown, because we do things, of course, every club is different, but you still stepped in and did your role well. Thank you very much. We have quite a number of guests here today. As you know, most of the guests I'm familiar with, and I'm sure they were greeted when they first came here. Now, there's a note in the in the chat by Tony. If you all remember that we are going to have a by-election today for VP of membership because we don't have one. So make sure that you stick around. It is 11:29. I have only 1 minute to acknowledge the guests here. And I especially had invited Hardiana Dewin Nurika from Indonesia, I believe. Hardiana, are you there? And how did you feel about the meeting?
Hello. Yes, I think it was really great, and as all the topic and my very casual thing, I think it's table topic is really nice, and all the speakers for today it's also were really doing great job.
Thank you, Hardiana. And of course, because quite a number of other guests, it's 11:30. I will ask for Madam Toastmaster to adjourn the meeting, and then I will then get back to the guests if they still want to stick around to sort of for them to have a quick comment. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Bram. And you'll notice that I did not mention the table topics winner and the best speaker for this meeting. So everybody was a winner, and I think we'll forego that for this week. But I would now like to officially invite everybody back and adjourn the meeting. So thank you all for attending. It was absolutely wonderful to have you all here. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. And before I turn it over to Tony for the by-election, please remain in your seats, of course, and we will ask the guests to sort of give us a space to conduct that by-election. But however, if there's a couple of guests here, if you still want to have a comment, let's see. Venkat, are you there? Okay.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Venkat.
Sorry.
It's so good to see you again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And how did you feel about the meeting?
Awesome, awesome. I really loved it, and
right,
mind-blowing. Thank you so much. I would love to be part of this kind.
Wonderful.
More moving forward. Thank you so much.
And please, yeah, fill in the guest form, and we will get back to you.
Certainly, kind of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Venkat. I know that Pratyush is we are trying to get him into Black Walnut Toastmasters Club with Bud Brown because he hasn't done his level 3 yet. And then there's Biju Raj. Hi, Biju Raj. No. And Suzanne Rondeau. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Suzanne.
Yes, you are.
How did
It
you
was
find
a
the
very
meeting?
informative and educational meeting. I always appreciate the evaluations that your club offers to the speakers. They are always on point, and it's a learning curve for me because I appreciate and I learn every time I listen to your evaluators.
Thank you very much. And with that, I will now pass this on, of course, to our parliamentarian, Tony Breshett. I will ask, of course, the guests that we will see you next week. We have our own club business to conduct right now, so it's only meant for the members of the club. And would ask our guests, we will see you next week. I hope you filled in the guest form, and we'll follow up with you as well with that. Thank you very much, and back over to you, Tony.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. President. In the interest of time, I'm going to just stick with the minimal script, but be respectful as well. First off, I see we have 14 participants still online, and we have a club membership of 20, so 14 means we have
Some of them are guests, so I'm afraid we have to let them leave.
Okay.
So if you're a guest, if you can please excuse us so we can conduct our club meeting. Thank you.
Okay.
There's 2 more still. Okay, 1 more. Okay.
Well, that's 10 out of 20. So that's half of the majority. I mean, almost a majority. Are there any objections if I declare that 10 active members in this meeting will constitute a quorum? Is there any objections to that? Okay, hearing none, then I will declare that we have the necessary quorum, which is a requirement. we have a club constitution. It's in the governing documents. It's actually called Club Constitution for Toastmaster Clubs. And Article 6, Section 8 states that when someone leaves office and there's a vacancy, we have to conduct a by-election at the next possible meeting, which we're doing right now. So we're complying to our club constitution. The vacancy is vice president of membership. Notices have been sent through WhatsApp, which is our acceptable form of communication. We have right now one candidate for vice president of membership. Now, anyone here is allowed to nominate themselves or nominate someone else as long as that other person gives immediate consent right now. So we have one candidate. The candidate is Fabiola Cleofa. I pray I pronounce your name right. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so we have one candidate, Fabiola. Are there any other candidates for the position of vice president of membership? Are there any other nominations for the position of vice president of membership? Okay, for the third time and final time, are there any other nominations for the position of vice president of membership? Okay, hearing none. I instruct the secretary to cast one vote in favor of Toastmaster Fabiola Cleofa as vice president of membership for Leadership Speak Toastmasters. Please join me in welcoming our new vice president of membership. And since we're here, I'm going to take 30 seconds to induct our new vice president of membership. Is that okay? Toastmaster Fabiola, you are one of the most experienced Toastmasters in the world. And so you're familiar with the position of vice president of membership. But I still, for the sake of being proper, I'll briefly go through it. You promote the club and manage the process of bringing in guests and transforming them into members. Will you, by initiating contact with guests, you help make them feel welcome, you provide them with information, you maintain a constant influx of new people into our club, and you monitor our membership levels, and you participate with the rest of the executive in executive meetings, and you handle membership challenges accordingly. Will you, Toastmaster Fabiola, as vice president of membership, accept this challenge and perform your duties to the best of your abilities? Okay, so put your thumb up.
She's looking for the unmute.
Thumb up counts. I watched a Roman movie last night where when Caesar puts a thumb up, it's good. So thumb up. Okay, so again, we're dealing with technical difficulties, so that's fine. Okay, if no one objects to a thumbs up as being an affirmation, then hey, we have a new vice president of membership, and wow, is she ever going to be good? So yeah, thank you very much.
Made it. Yes, thank you.
There you go. So you want to say anything?
No, thank you for the opportunity, and I hope I can be an added value to this club, and will do my job as accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Parliamentarian, for conducting that election for us. And thank you, Fabiola, for stepping forward. As Tony quite rightly said, you are one of the most highly qualified Toastmasters on the planet. 30 years of Toastmastering, 3 DTMs. When we asked during the Global Leadership Impact Summit for nominations, your nomination was read forever and ever with all the things that you've done. And I'm sure we had quite a bit of a, I'm sure the judges had, I mean, I read it myself, but I'm sure the judges had quite a bit of a challenge reading through all the things that you've done.
I read I was on the committee and I read everything, and there was a lot to read. And yeah, wow. Okay.
So thank you so much for stepping forward, despite having done all those accomplishments to serve again. I really appreciate it. Anything from you, Fabiola? I know if you're being able to unmute yourself.
Actually, this year I was trying to minimize my membership in clubs, but one thing that really struck me from this club is this is an opportunity to continue my personal growth, especially when you have done so many things. You tend to, there is no opportunities to grow, but I see this in this club. So that is one reason why first I said I'm going to be a member of this club. And when I got the opportunity to be part of the executive, even though I've done this so many times, I see how I can better what I have done in the past by taking on this. So yes, here I am. So I hope this year is going to be a great year.
Thank you. And with that, we can.
Tom?
Yes,
Mr. President, can I just have a second?
of course.
Okay. I'm the Division D director, and it's short notice, but Monday night is the training, the club officer training from 7 to 8:30. I still need a few people to be assistants in the breakout rooms. You just have to take attendance and forward any questions from chat to the trainer. Is anyone available? It's online from 7 to 8:30 Monday night. Marianna's already helping out, so thank you, Marianna.
Well, thank you very much. Please get in touch with Sharon or put your name or contact her in our WhatsApp group. She is, of course, a club member, and we're so lucky to have a division director in our midst here as our member. So.
And unfortunately, I won't be able to because I have another meeting, and I do apologize, but I have to run. I have to be in Aurelia by 1 o'clock, and I don't want to speed too much, or my fearless friends in the OPP will pull me over. So,
Hey, Peggy, you did a great job. You did a great job today. Very professional.
Thanks very much. Take care and stay well, everyone, and get well if you're not feeling well right now. Bye-bye.
Take care, Peggy.
Bye.
All right. The meeting is open for networking and friendly chat, but I'm going to keep quiet because I'm very congested. So,
Ram, do you have COVID?
no,
No?
Every year when it gets very hot and if I'm stressed, this is just what I get every year. It's a standard thing. Seasonal affliction, as I call it. SAD, seasonal affliction disorder. I'm very sad.
Congrats, Fabiola.
Thank you, Vinod.
Hannah, I miss your wallpaper of the tiger, actually, the leopard.
Oh, nice.
Please
Hannah,
welcome.
I like your bald eagle picture there.
Two of our guests are still here, Venkat and Bijure. So welcome back. They were in a waiting room while we were going through the election part.
Oh, great.
You know, Vinod, your speech and Percy's video of Everest is amazing. I think that's really good marketing material.
Thanks, Mary.
Yeah.
Vinod, are you happy now?
Yes. Amazing. Perfect. Okay, I'll take your leave. See you next week, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, take care, everyone.
Marianna, talk to you later.
Talk
See
to
you
you
guys.
later. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.
I'm going to take a leave also. It has
Thank you
been
very much for coming and welcome and congratulations and all the good things to you. And I'm really happy that you are with us.
Thank you. Will I be seeing you at the convention this year, Marianna?
I would love to, but not very likely.
Okay.
Not very likely.
I met Marianna at the last in-person convention, and now we are here together. So
All
that
good.
was great. Yes. Okay. See you all. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Fabio. Big closet.
Okay, that's it on my end.
Well, I'm glad that your internet worked. After all, it was a bit of a sticky moment in the morning.
Very.
Yeah.
Very.
So,
I'm
Francois,
glad.
is the internet where you are actually living, that's a problem, or is actually the country you live in, is this a problem, or how is it? How does that work?
It worked both ways.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
So everybody's complaining about it, and even guests that come in our country that live in here, that come for their, come to live or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They know the internet is. There was a survey was sent out and it came back and they were complaining too, just like us, the locals. The internet is terrible, but yeah, have to make out until they do some upgrading. The government said they will be doing some